Hey, it's your old pal Slim, and this is 70mm, a podcast for movie lovers just like you. Disclaimer at the top of the show, we're not experts, but we do love watching movies. With me each and every episode is my close friend and artist, Danny Haas.
Hello.
And our close friend and movie insider, Proto.
Ethan.
I'm just glad everyone listening live could see the face that you made when you did that. Hopefully someone screenshotted it. This is lost forever. If not, every movie that we cover is connected to a theme for that month, and this time it's MAY-SSION Impossible. We're celebrating the franchise the only way we know how. And you can use the chapters in your podcast app to skip right to our main discussion from 1996 and Proto's favorite director, Brian De Palma, Mission Impossible. But the big story this week.
What is it?
Sweeping the nation. Lots of texts shared. I'll just read the headline from Variety. Bill Belichick says CBS interview presented, quote, false narrative that his girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, quote, was attempting to control the conversation. Have you seen the news?
What was she doing?
Have you seen the news? The Bill Belichick and his the love of his life, controlling the CBS interview, Proto. Do you have thoughts on that and or what Bill Belichick was wearing in that interview?
Yes, I do have thoughts on what he's wearing. I did not watch the interview. I'm not really aware of the story other than the headlines, which is, for the most part, how I live my life in this day and age. But I did catch a screenshot. I think I was scrolling and I saw, muted audio, Bill Belichick. He appeared to be unhoused, wearing some clothes that were in need of repair. There was holes. Was he coming from some kind of event? Does anyone know what was happening?
At Coachella.
I think this marks the first time that anyone has said it. Unhoused in the history of this show. I didn't even know how to react to that.
Is that the right way to say it now?
Wait, so that's an old shirt? Does he often wear shirts with holes in it? And Paul has somehow found more photos of Bill Belichick wearing holy shirts.
That's Rucking Cotton.
That's got to be a lucky shirt.
That's a $40 Gildan tee from Rucking Cotton right there.
One wash of that Gildan tee.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if they made that shirt or someone made a knockoff? Should we make a knockoff for Bill Belichick? Dan, do you have any thoughts on Bill Belichick's love life and alleged false narratives?
No.
Okay.
I've never cared about Bill. Get him out of here.
This month is a celebration to a journey, an end and a beginning. We'll get into the beginning tonight. The greatest living actor, IMO. This is my opinion. This is not fact. Okay, Tom Cruise. It's MAY-SSION Impossible. We're starting with the first one, Mission 1. Did you notice the covers on Paramount's app? They all say like M: and then the number of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool.
They did that when the really colorful box set came out. Did you see that?
No.
There's a box set where it's like a red cover, a bright like cyan blue cover, a yellow cover.
Okay.
Anyway.
We'll get into it tonight. All that and more.
Yeah.
We're starting with Mission 1. We're going to do Mission 2. And then we're fast forwarding to Fallout.
Your favorite.
Stay tuned. I have said it's my favorite elsewhere though, and then we're going to finish up the month with Final Reckoning. After it hits theaters, everyone goes and gets their popcorn, their custom popcorn box. I think I saw a photo of like, Mission's going to have one of their fancy popcorn boxes.
Yeah.
And we're going to close things out with my dear co-host from the Interview with the Podcast, Vampire Podcast, producer Dale and Jonesy from
They look more like the
Twin Vipers.
Whatever it's called, Hellraiser box to get your popcorn out of that thing.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah, I see that.
That's what it looked like to me.
What was
Was
that?
it?
Yeah, that device.
What was it called?
Sex device.
The sex box
Yeah. Sex box.
with the key.
So that's the big story. Proto, you've only watched Mission 1. Have you ventured forward? Have you started the journey at your own rate of speed? Have you paused after De Palma?
I paused. Yeah, I want to, be fresh. I don't want to confuse them between, when we talk about them. I want to clear in my mind. I did watch Mission Impossible 2 a few months ago. So this will be a whammy, a double whammy event for me of rewatching this. I wish that didn't happen, but this is where fate has led me.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could come in clean without having seen it in probably 15 years, but that's where we are.
That's where we are, folks. Is what it is.
You have
Come
to
on, I have a
in
T-shirt
clean.
that says "Is what it is." We need more. We need more. Danny, can you give us more, please?
Yeah, I get told to make T-shirts and then no one buys them. So
Can you give us more?
I didn't should learn my lesson.
Danny added only three items to the store this week. Please, Danny.
What is that door that just opened up behind Proto? Was that a cubbyhole door?
Don't worry about it.
What the French? That just slowly opened behind him.
Hello?
Get back in there.
Is this the trailer for Weapons with those kids? We'll get into it later. Mission Impossible, bottom of the hour. Use your chapters. I don't want to hear any Spotify complaints about people saying we get too long to get into the show, which we did recently.
They say that on
I still
Spotify?
I still get Spotify notification. Our holy war with Spotify is still ongoing.
Yeah.
We got a few comments this week. Somebody replied to Ed Wood episode saying, quote, Brian Kugler, ? So I think at some point, maybe
It's
in
a
our
first time
discussion,
listener.
They fell into my web.
Right into the trap.
I feel like someone was not happy with Proto's pronunciation trickery during that segment. Let's see. What do we want to get into? Do we want to talk about Andor? I feel like you guys haven't really watched anything this week, right?
Well, the problem is I watched Andor, the first batch. I watched them again, and then I watched the second batch, and then I've watched the second batch again. I can't get enough.
Wow.
I can't get enough.
What?
I know. I can't help it. I'm sorry.
Spoiler-free
Movies
zone.
be damned. I'm not going to get to spoilers.
Should we do an episode on the season 2 when it's done?
Yes.
When it wraps?
I think we should do 1 and 2. Let's just do it all again.
We already did one. We already
did the
did
pilot.
one.
We did it all?
I'm pretty sure we did an Andor
I thought we
season
just
1
did
episode.
the pilot, you goober.
I'm 90% sure we did
It was
2.
just the pilot episode.
Can someone, where is Ben to confirm on the wiki what we have?
I want to say we did like an uncut, like after
No, we did
an
Ahsoka.
episode. We took.
I'm
okay.
I'm opening a tab right now. You
Okay.
forced my hand.
I'm withdrawing.
All right, open the tab.
70mm Andor. Thank you. All right, Ben, thank you. Ben
we
is
did
up.
do it.
I was correct.
We did a season 1. Well, I guess it's time. I guess we have to do a season 2.
Anyway, yes, season 2. I'm loving it as well.
Uh-huh.
Fantastic. Really, especially these last 3. I thought the first 3 were good.
Yeah.
They weren't like greatest show of all time, which some folks did promise me.
Yeah.
Who?
The Star Wars nerds are like
Name
tripping
one
over
of
their
them.
own sick, trying to tell you how this is the best show of all time.
But these last 3 episodes were really fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Just I loved every bit. I love the characters. I love how they're positioning things. The look of it is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is following. It's like we had Andor season 1. We jumped over to Skeleton Crew, which looked amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't seen Skeleton Crew, let me just another.
We're still the
PSA.
only 3 people that have ever watched Skeleton Crew on this planet.
Please watch Skeleton Crew. And then this, I mean, it looks so good. And I'm just a smile on my face the whole time watching this. Are you caught up, Slim?
Yeah, I caught up. This was, I don't even remember when they aired, but I did watch them. I
Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern.
I watched them Wednesday, and I kind of accidentally fell asleep during the third episode. Not because it was boring. I just was the position that I was in on my futon in my office.
You got to get out of that position.
It was nap time, like almost instantly as soon as I had rearranged.
I said in the pre-show, I won't name names, but other TV show writers should be embarrassed.
Oh,
other Star Wars TV show writers. The level of Tony Gilroy's putting out right now.
How about this director that's done all the episodes?
Yeah,
so
Ariel,
far?
Killing it.
I had to Google Ariel's previous work, and I'm always fascinated by like what is. I probably should have just Googled this, but like what Ariel was. Maybe Ariel worked on something with Tony, and then did something to get the nod.
What'd you find when you?
I actually didn't do any research.
Oh, you didn't.
This is the expertise that you should not expect from the show.
It's fine.
But yeah, I mean, great visuals in these episodes. I forgot to see who the cinematographer was.
Deacons.
Doggone Deacons. But yeah, it looks great. Deirdre.
She's my queen.
I mean, maybe we'll save it for the uncut. We have a lot to get to tonight. When Deirdre said to turn off the lights.
My God.
What do you think Deirdre's getting into?
The resources that she has at hand.
The cameras are on, Slim. I'm blushing.
We'll get into it in the uncut, folks. That's what people pay for. They want to hear us talk about what happens under the sheets in the Empire at night with no lights on. Okay. Party, you did watch actually a movie though. Do you remember what you watched? Do you want to talk about it?
Yes, I've been waiting to talk about this.
Oh,
you know, I was in a mood a few days ago, and I needed a movie that I wanted it. You know, I wanted a movie I hadn't seen before, but I also wanted it to be good, which it can be hard to find. You know, it's a hard guarantee to get, and I've been burned before by my watch list. So I went to my old watch list. You know, I'm looking. What can I find here? And it's like, well, you know, if it's not going to be good, at least it has Philip Seymour Hoffman in it.
Oh.
So I watched Love, Liza from 2002. And Philip Seymour Hoffman plays a man whose wife recently passed. And he's like very much in the raw, tender experience of it, of like just the waves of emotion are pounding him hard. Mm-hmm. And he's trying to cope with this. And the movie it's 90 minutes long.
Love it.
And it's almost just entirely Philip.
Oh,
the whole time. Like,
wow.
Like he's in every second of this movie, basically. So you're just following him as he's stumbling through his life, trying to pick up the pieces of like what his life is now. I mean, I found it to be an amazing performance from him. But I also just I was like, who is this director? Because just the way like the story was told, you know, you're focusing on just like this one character, and it has like this very like methodical, deliberate pace. I found it actually kind of reminded me of Kogonada, their movies. So I was like, who is this guy? And he hasn't really done anything else after this. But yeah, I mean, I gave this 5 stars and I put it in my 4 faves just
Holy
to see how it
crap.
felt. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Good Lord.
So it was like, I felt like I hit the jackpot. I was looking for a movie like this, and it's not, it's not an easy watch. It's pretty heavy stuff, about, death. And, the character, he carries around, this note that he hasn't read that his wife left for him.
Okay.
And he's like carrying it around this whole time. And Kathy Bates is also in it. It's his mother-in-law, and she's great. But I was just really taken by the story of of the moves and the steps someone would take to try to just get through each day. So I can't recommend it enough.
Jeez.
It's on Tubi. So
there you go.
Anna in chat asks, how was the soundtrack?
The soundtrack is really cool. It was actually a bunch of songs, I guess, from the early 2000s that I didn't really recognize, but I thought it was good. In some portions, it did have like lyrics to the song that like met up with what was happening in the movie. I'm like,
Oh, interesting.
That's
a
never
very 2000s thing to do.
it's like this doesn't really work. But for this movie, I thought it was okay.
Okay.
My wife's dead and I'm walking down the street.
Yeah, that Springsteen song. You know.
Oh, God. That famous album.
Oh.
Danny, your buddy Lewis Pullman watched this and rated it 4.5 stars.
Did he?
Yeah.
Not 5.
Not 5. Did I mention that Lewis Pullman follows me on Letterboxd?
Does he? He followed you?
Yeah. No big deal.
Whatever. I'm the one that loves him.
I love him too.
No, you don't. You never talk
I'm always
about
talking
him.
about
I'm always
Lewis
talking
Pullman.
about him.
I can't wait to see him in Thunderbolts.
You're a liar.
You're not going to see Thunderbolts. So what
I'm
kind of a
not
Lewis
seeing
Pullman fan are you?
No, I'll rewatch anything else of his. I'll watch Salem's Lot again, and you won't do that.
Who is Lewis Pullman?
Let's see. What's the time check here? Oh, God, we're running late. Just real quick. Say hello to Matt, who joined our Patreon this week. Got access to uncut episodes, longer episodes. Every week, folks get a longer episode than the main feed gets.
Not everyone likes it longer, though.
Matt left a review for Mission Impossible this week. In spite of the constant pull to slightly overcomplicate every bit of plot, and in spite of the general 90s-ness that I personally find a bit curdling, there is way more good than bad. So another raving review for Mission Impossible 1 from Matt. Wow. You just won a free year of Letterboxd Patreon.
Oh, congrats, Matt.
Congratulations. Matt tagged the review 70mm pod. That's how you can enter to win free year of Letterboxd Patreon. I guess I can just close this variety tab on Bill
Please,
Belichick.
it's lighting your face
lighting
up.
up my face.
God.
Yeah. Before we get into Mission, I do want to point out, I watched this Robert Redford movie,
Oh my God.
The Great Waldo Pepper, 1975. Has anyone in chat ever heard of this movie? I don't think so.
No.
I was chatting with a close personal friend, Mitchell.
Yeah.
At Letterboxd. Disclaimer, I work for Letterboxd, but I don't speak for Letterboxd. Mitchell let me know that McHugh and Tom had talked about this being inspiration for Final Reckoning. Specifically, this is about stunt pilots in the 20s. So there's, as soon as I saw some stills of this movie, I was like, oh yeah, that big stunt in Final Reckoning.
Yeah.
But it's Robert Redford plays a WW1 pilot, like a very skilled pilot, who kind of misses his turn at glory in the war. And then when he comes home, he's just kind of...
Me too.
He's looking for his place, and he's kind of, almost like a circus show stunt pilot. Like people, they would go town to town and sell 10 tickets, and they would go up and do stunts. They would do wing walks. Like wing walks, I've forgotten for 30 plus years that this was a thing in this era, but they do it in the movie and it looks nuts.
Yeah.
Like people are in the plane, in the air, and the secondary guy on the plane climbs out and walks on the wing, on the top of the plane, folks. So they're doing this to impress 10 people in, Idaho or whatever corn town they're at. And some of the stunts and some of the things that happened in the story were just actually really shocked me and how they were portrayed. So it's directed by George Roy Hill, who had done The Sting, Slapshot, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And I think he was a pilot. So this was kind of a dream project for him. Really good movie. I gotta give it 4 stars. Need people to check it out.
Yeah, I want to watch this.
One of those rare moments where you ping me and Danny, you need to watch this. This is a very rare moment.
I can't believe you didn't watch it yet.
It's waiting for me.
Okay.
It's waiting for me.
Need to get on
I had to rewatch Andor a second time.
That was way more important.
Sorry. I can't fall in love with Robert all over again.
Oh, it's going to happen. Especially when he gets behind a biplane seat and the camera is behind him. He's flying it.
I'm already sweating.
Episode 262 in a series of episodes for 70mm podcast. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. From 1996, Mission Impossible, the first main discussion of MAY-SSION Impossible. MAY-SSION Impossible. MAY-SSION Impossible.
I like the second one better.
How was it? I don't even remember how I did it. MAY-SSION.
Nope.
Proto, what's this movie all about?
International espionage. CIA, NSA, FBI, MI6, GRU, Mossad. All small potatoes. Potatoes.
Oh, God.
All small
Spotify comment.
potatoes to the elite unit that is the IMF. Ethan Hunt runs point, but his team is picked off one by one in Prague when their mission goes south. When Ethan survives the mole the IMF was seeking to uncover is believed to be him, he uses chewing gum to escape. Ethan big brains that his only solution is to steal the knock list from Langley, recruiting the disavowed to build a new team. Once he has the list, he can uncover the mole himself and clear his name. Double whammy. The mission code name, Impossible.
Mission Impossible finally on the show. I think it was I don't know if it was a DM. We were honestly wondering if we had ever covered this movie on the show before. We were all very confused.
Surprised.
We were
It was
all
a very
shocked.
Andor season 1 moment that everyone experienced earlier, but in text form. My history with this movie, I feel like I waited a long time to watch this one, but I had seen like MI2 and eventually MI3. MI3, I've said this before, but MI3 I think was my first HD DVD that I ever bought
Really?
with my add-on to Xbox 360. I think I got like MI3, The Adventures of Robin Hood, and I think I bought Miami Vice and then I returned it because I thought the movie stunk at the time.
Yeah, you've changed. You've come around on it.
But I've rewatched it a lot over the years. But this one was always the one that I didn't think was a lot of fun. But I remember seeing the helicopter stunt everywhere in every clip show of all time. Proto, what about you?
I remember watching this very young. I have like a vivid memory. I want to say I was maybe 7 or 8.
My God.
I don't know the circumstance of me seeing this, but
Yes.
I remember being that young and being fascinated by this movie, but also not understanding one lick of it. Just didn't understand what was going on in the beginning, especially, and just like the twists and turns making no sense to me. And I don't think it was until I probably watched it like my 3rd or 4th watch, I guess, when I was like in high school, that
11.
it made any sense to me at all. So this was like, Proto Nolan script writing.
Goodness.
Is De Palma the Proto Nolan?
I haven't said that, but I have heard people say that.
Mm.
What's your history, Danny?
I think it's probably the same as yours. I saw MI2 first. So after my life changed by that movie, I went back and saw this one probably in high school. I don't think I knew that I think once MI2 was coming out, I'm like, oh, this is the second one. I didn't know there was the first one. I can't really remember though when I first saw it. But yeah, that's kind of my history. We'll get into MI2 next week.
We'll get into it.
Bigger history.
What's your Mount Rushmore, Proto, of top 3 Brian De Palma movies?
Oh my.
Okay, let's see. He's got some bangers, if I can say that. Not including Mission Impossible.
Right.
Okay.
Check it out.
Yeah.
Just in case. That's not saying you loved it, but it's just not able to be chosen.
Yeah, I just can't choose it right now.
Legally.
If there was a 4th spot on the Mount Rushmore, it would be that. But my number 1, Blowout. I think pretty easily Blowout. Then Carlito's Way.
Oh, God.
Goodness.
What a picture.
Remember that up?
I recently watched The Untouchables, but I'm going to leave that one off. And I think I'll just stick with 2. I think that's all I have.
Again, Proto has an unfinished Mount Rushmore.
It's under construction.
Still under construction. Danny, what about you?
I would go Carrie, number 1.
Yeah.
I love Carrie.
Yeah.
Carlito's Way is definitely number 2. And then I'll do Scarface.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd love to rewatch Scarface for the show.
Yeah, we have to do it on the show at some point.
Pacino month.
No.
May-Chino.
It would be like October. We'd still call it May-Chino. I think in no particular order, I would say Snake Eyes, Carrie. Carrie is just, some have said a perfect movie.
Oh,
I've never seen it.
You still haven't seen it?
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh.
Carrie month. And of course, Carlito's Way. Carlito's Way, one of my all-time favorite movies. Oh, God, what a friggin' picture. I need to go back and listen to
Should we do that again?
Dude, Carlito's Way Redux. And then every time I go to his filmography, I like remember, and I think I bring this up, but Femme Fatale was like a sexy movie that he did with Rebecca Romijn and Antonio Banderas. That's a 3.4 on Letterboxd right now. That's an interesting, higher than I thought.
You don't have Black Dahlia logged. I figured you had seen that, but I guess not.
Is that another sexy one that he did?
Probably. It's only 2.7. Aaron
This
Eckhart's
cast
in
is
that one.
insane.
It's
Josh
an
Hartnett,
insane
Scarlett
cast.
Johansson, Aaron Eckhart, who we talked about last week, and Hilary Swank. What the French?
Yeah.
This looks like the strangest cast of all time.
I don't know anything about it.
And I think that's it, right? We got all of our Mount Rushmores.
Yeah, we did it. We did it.
Congrats, everybody. Boy, where to even start? Let's start with Pro for Mission Impossible 1. What's at the top of your list for this viewing that you want to get into with us, your friends?
Oh, what to get into? I guess the thing I would want to talk about the most is I think it is like the way this is written, this script, and the way it moves from scene to scene. Like I'll never shake those first times I saw this movie and not being able to track what was going on. And I don't think it's like a fault of the movie. I think it was just like I was too young when I first saw it. And then I think it's like one of those movies, if you're not paying attention,
You can't blink.
yeah, you really you can't miss certain lines. But then there's just like ways that it was like it's like told that are just like so interesting to me. The one that I love so much, and I don't think I've realized it, or I had to have realized it before, but when Ethan meets back up with John Voight and he's talking about how it went down and he's explaining it one way, but then you're actually seeing John Voight's character as what actually happened.
Yeah.
That is such like an interesting technique to use in a movie that I'm sure like it's happened in some ways, but like just to hear someone describing something, but then you're seeing it in a different way.
Yeah. Ethan's figuring it out.
Yeah. And of course, then you know that like he did know. So it kind of, it makes sense later on. But that is just like so cool. And there's something about like the way this is shot that like makes it confusing. When I was trying to like think of how to describe it, I kept thinking of like, it feels like almost like a stage performance. And I think there's a lot of De Palma's movies kind of have that feel where it almost like loses the like the perimeter of the picture and kind of feels like very focused in on just the action. And it feels like, oh, this could be, even though like this is an outdoor shot, it's so foggy and there's like a purple light coming in. This could be on a soundstage. And there's like a lot of aspects of this movie that feel that way that just make it feel so different and unique in terms of like a category of like an action movie that this is.
Yeah, that scene where he's piecing it together, like confirming, I guess, maybe his suspicions that he's had for a good part of the movie is so good. And that's like one thing that I keep forgetting about this one is that, I mean, Tom is the greatest. Ethan Hunt
actor
is the greatest in this movie. Like he, even when he meets Kittredge, he asks, he's like, why was there a second IMF team there? He's like, what are you talking about? And then he like has already placed all the agents in the restaurant
man.
after placing them at the event. Like he's already ahead of everyone. And then he pieces together essentially that like Phelps he started suspicions like so early on. Like when what's his face he pulls the knife out for the first time.
Leon.
That's like when he starts like, something's fishy here. And then even when she comes back to the safe house at 4 a.m., I feel like that, like he's already like, this is not, why are you still alive? Like there's something else is happening here. There's so much of that where he is like the greatest secret agent in history in this movie. And all the scenes are so cool. Like it's so well done. I mean, they had the juice for a franchise like so hardcore in this movie. I feel like at the time, I mean, you had to see like, man, they're going to make a ton of these. They're going to make so much money. Phelps is a character from the original show. Phelps was like the star, and they asked the dude to come back and be in the movie, but he was like so insulted that they would have turned him into the bad guy in the movie. So he refused to come back. So when they had made the movie, a lot of the original cast were like perturbed by the direction that they were going.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like crazy. I was thinking like, man, imagine if they had cast the original guy from the TV show and he turned bad and he was the villain.
Did you read, there was also a bit where they were told the original cast was asked, the whole cast was asked to come back, and Ethan was going to be the young buck on the squad. And in the beginning of the movie, they were all going to be killed. The entire TV cast was going to be killed off.
Oh my God.
And he was going to have to like solve their mystery murder. Like that would have been them dead, the original Mission Impossible cast. And they're like, nah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. Yeah, but I mean, anyway, I love Ethan Hunt in this movie. Like you can feel that there's just like so much potential with this character.
This will roll into my first point. Ethan using the internet in 1996.
Oh my God. I can't.
I love it so much.
When he typed internet into the bar, I was losing it. Like, I don't even know in 96 outside of AOL what I was doing on internet, but I know it was better than this. I know I was better at the internet than Ethan Hunt, the greatest.
We're downloading Metallica's early albums on Napster at this point.
We were on Napster.
Ethan Hunt is like giving himself a migraine by searching max.com to find the villain.
I meant to go to that. It's max.com. You got to go to max.com right now.
One of my reviews is that like Ethan using the internet in 1996 is the most painful thing I've ever seen.
HBO. Holy shit.
But also like the stuff, Proto, you mentioned it, of like the plot, if you blink and you miss. The more I watched this, the more confused I was getting, because a lot of the movie, I watched this like 3 times in the last week, but a lot of it hinges on the Bible that he finds. And it's like, that's one of the things that he's like, oh God, it maybe is Phelps. I could not figure out, I eventually figured it out, but I was like, why is the Bible the red herring? Because like he says the job 316, 315. And then I was like, what was happening on the job? Because the whole gig was a setup to find the mole. So did Phelps just like abort the mission because he found out that there was a mole, or was it his whole plan? I was just so confused, like rewatching this movie. Like, because if you think about it too hard, you just
listening to you.
You confused yourself out of watching it. I eventually settled down and figured it out, but yeah, I just can't believe that Tom Cruise at any point was able to contact Max using his internet searching methods. There's no reason it should have worked.
Oh, it was like job at 316.com.
What even is that? I wrote in caps, message to Max at Job 3:14. What even is that?
And
it's like that meme video.
Every language of it. Oh man, honestly, it made me love the movie more watching him use the internet in 96. The Usenet.
Yeah. It's so
the graphics too. The graphics of that.
Oh yeah.
That never existed. Yeah, there's no way it ever looked so like bizarre.
That. It might have.
I mean, that and
Usenet groups.
Emilio's computer screens too were like the best to look at from 96.
I think it's Ving at the end where he's like on the laptop and he types in something like begin jamming procedure. They like press enter.
Also, the script about him talking about like how he's so giddy at getting like high-end computers. He mentions like crypto and like thinking laptops.
Yeah, what was
and
that
AI.
about?
Like he was ahead of things back then.
Way ahead.
Is that a real screenshot? What is that from? That can't be
Eyes
from
Wide
Mission.
Shut.
That's not from Mission. That's fake. That's AI. Can someone give Paul a timeout for using AI? I don't like it. Let's see. Top of my list. I mean, we hit two of them already. Explain the Bible. No, so I'll get back in the Bible. I just couldn't figure out why the Bible clued in Ethan. Because if you remember in the beginning of the movie, Phelps is like,
right.
I couldn't been. I'm sorry, I missed Kiev because I was at a conference in Chicago at the Drake Hotel.
It's stamped in the Bible.
Right, but like, why is that the smoking gun? I guess I think in my mind, I tell myself that that's the smoking gun, but it's not really the smoking gun. It's just like adding to the coincidental evidence for Ethan. Because like, there's nothing that Bible proves that he was in on it. It's just
that
like,
he was Job.
Doesn't prove that he was Job. It's just a Bible. It says that he was there. He like took it from the Drake Hotel.
This is why he's the best. He can connect the dots that you can't see.
Proto, your thoughts on the Bible in Mission Impossible 1996?
I mean, now that you're saying this, I don't understand it either. I don't even remember when Ethan gets the Bible. When does he find the Bible?
He finds the Bible in Prague when he's doing his internet searches.
He does
he's in the front of the computer and then he sees the Bible and he's like, oh, maybe that's Job. Maybe Job is Job.
And that's one of the safe houses that.
Right. That's the safe houses. Right. That's the safe house that they were in. I'm pretty sure that when they were planning the gig.
That apparently no one else knew to look there for them.
But I guess he brings that Bible to London.
Yeah, he keeps it with them.
And then but even like, I don't know. It's just like, I didn't need that in the movie. It doesn't do anything for me. He could have figured it out without the Bible, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think he could have figured out? I mean, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, like, why would Voight doesn't even use quotes from the Bible? Like Max even says that, Job doesn't usually quote the Bible like you did. So then why is he carrying a Bible around with him if he's not quoting it?
But Tom's quoting it.
But why would Voight bring it from the Drake Hotel? He's like, I need to bring this Bible because I'm going to forget the name Job.
He also didn't know how to use the internet, so he couldn't look up the Bible verses.
He needed the Bible. He didn't want to look it up.
The key to this whole movie.
He emailed everybody at that email address in the nation who uses Job at 3:15, and he got one that worked.
This is like with people trying to take Indiana Jones seriously.
You're right. Yeah, I had a great time, folks. I'm just zeroing in on the Bible aspect. Also, I did look up the script for this movie, and there's a section in the front where Phelps and Ethan talk about something happening with, is her name Claire? His wife?
Yeah.
Something happened between Ethan and Claire. And that like adds more evidence to something being between Tom and Claire, or Ethan and Claire, because you can kind of see it in the movie. And also he kills her at the end. So I think he also thought there was something between them.
I mean, they definitely slept together at the safe house. She was like kissing his hand.
Her husband just died. Fake, like, quote,
died. She was in on it.
Rebound comfort. You need it sometimes.
She knew.
Proto, next on your list.
Well, when I think of this movie, I think of the heist so much, of them stealing the knock list from Langley. I mean, that scene is still just like so cool. The set that they're in, the way that room works, and that basically being the blueprint for all of the Mission Impossible movies, right? Like when when I think about a Mission Impossible, you're waiting for Ethan to describe the job, and how it's completely not possible, and then revealing the plan. And to me, like that is like this franchise, and like that's carried so much through all the movies. And it's starting here. It's still so good. And I kind of like, it's been a while since I've seen this, so I kind of forgot like parts of it. But man, I just love that set so much. I love how it works with him coming out of the room, the floor changing. I mean, you know, the sweat, the temperature. You got Gene up in the rafters holding the rope. I mean, there's no way that he could kill a rat like that and then catch the rope.
What did he do with his head? Did he kill it with his head?
They don't show you.
They show the dead rat.
It's impossible to do that.
Oh,
Physically
mission.
impossible.
Jay Bear just shared a screenshot of the N64 game.
Oh, banger game.
The graphics that they are working with. Oh my God.
When I see this scene, I always think about like, I want to pretend like the round table of them writing the scene was like, okay, you can't touch the floor, but then the temperature and then the lasers and then all the like the noise, like adding like every trap they could think of for Ethan to jump through. It's just like kids writing down like some ridiculous playground game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's such an iconic stunt. Like, I mean, that set.
His body alone.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't know how he did it. That off the floor nonsense, that inch from the floor.
No. You're not doing that at home, Danny? You're not working on that
Me?
exercise?
The instant that I would come down that rope, my head would hit the ground. My body would fold like a taco. There's not a chance I could hold my body up like that.
I mean, even the stunts, like the helicopter scene is iconic too. Like the helicopter being attached to the train and then coming into the tunnel with the train.
God.
Is insane.
Ridiculous.
Even today I thought it was insane.
How did there's no way that you could do that. That was me while watching this.
It's ridiculous. He's not even a care in the world flying that helicopter in that tunnel. He's not looking out any window.
Also, how fast was that train going? Like 150?
It was cooking.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The scene with like him, remember his like jacket blows off?
Yeah, and then his tie.
And then he like decides to just like let go and just fly forward to drop kick Voight.
That would have killed him.
Yeah. He's like
Voight's
80.
body.
I mean, his whole body would be crumpled with drop kick from Tom.
He's holding his body on.
How old do you think Phelps was in this movie?
He's probably my age.
He's disillusioned in his early 40s. Talking about how he hates life with getting $60,000 a year.
Oh,
I mean, $60,000 is a lot of money. In 1996? In 1996 money, what is that now? That's like $1 million.
And don't do the math.
Poor baby. That's such a hard life. Out of here. Danny.
I forgot his name. Hold on. Danny Elfman. The score in this movie is insane. And it felt like Elfman's like either wanted to write a Bond score at some point. Cause when I saw the credit come up that it was him, I'm like, I don't remember Elfman doing this, but it's so not Danny Elfman. It's so like grand. I was really waiting for like the da-na, like the kick in at any point, because the beginning scene when the Prague kind of first 30 minutes of this movie, it is just a banging soundtrack, and I was just kind of shocked that it was Danny Elfman.
Yeah, remember when he jumps off the train onto the helicopter and that like hero music plays? I was like, what is this? I've never heard this before.
Insane.
The last time you ever hear that piece of music, I think, in the franchise, but it definitely felt like their version of like a Bond.
Yeah, for sure.
In that moment.
And also all I could think about was, speaking of Bond, is De Palma doing a Bond, because I feel like that would be incredible.
Have mercy. Same cinematographer, Stephen Burham, as The Outsiders, The Untouchables, Carlito's Way, Body Double, Rumblefish, Snake Eyes, Mystery Men, St. Elmo's Fire.
Jeez, he's De Palma's man.
Yeah, The Shadow.
Hello.
My God. Hoffa. Father's Day with Robin Williams and Billy Crystal. Oh my God, there's a funny poster here. Billy Crystal's wearing a tie.
Okay.
And Robin is pulling it behind him, wearing it like a mustache.
My king. I love Robin.
I'm going to put it in chat. That's classic Robin right there. That is so classic.
That's just asking for a deep fake.
Next on my list, let me see what I have. I mean, I love the visuals of this movie. So we're talking about the cinematographer and De Palma, like they call it the Dutch angles.
Yeah.
You know, when like the camera is kind of like on the ground looking up, and it came back in a fun way in Dead Reckoning. Like that's, you know, in a lot of those scenes, it like makes a return. I think I remember they even showed it in the trailer and people were like messing their shorts a little bit. But I love it. It adds so much tension in so much of these scenes. Like the whole drama between Ethan and Kittredge. You know, you're made to think that Kittredge is the mole. Like kind of like how the story plays out. Especially with like the stuff with Ethan's parents and just how so much of that is shot with those camera angles. And I love the use of lighting. Like there's a bunch of shots with Claire like in the shadows, but there's like a ray of light over her or just like over her face. Very old school, kind of noirish. That just like makes this movie like a lot more rewatchable with like someone like a De Palma and Harum on cinematography, because I mean, without that stuff, I just don't think this movie has like the zest, the visual stuff. So I love rewatching this because I feel like it's a treat to rewatch. Proto, I don't know if you feel the same way visually.
Yeah. I feel like there's shots that like stayed with me when they like I was waiting for the shot of when it's Ethan as Voight on the train in the shadows. Like I always love that shot so much. And actually, while watching this, I found it really interesting. The scene in the restaurant with Kittredge, where he uses the gum and he jumps out. That seems like such a classic movie way of doing that shot, because when you think about it, it like makes no sense the way it's filmed. It's like
where's the water coming from?
Where's the water coming from? How is everybody not just blown to bits in that moment? Like, why is anyone alive? And why can he just jump out the window? It doesn't make any sense, but it looks great. Like just as like, the music's going high, Tom is like running and that look on his face, he's leaping with all of his might out the window. Like it just works, even though it doesn't make any sense. And I kind of love it for that, because like knowing De Palma and like the things that he has in his movies, it seems like that's a lot of like his MO of like, this will look cool. It doesn't matter so much if it makes sense or not.
Well, there's a giant aquarium above them, and then there's one behind them.
I didn't know. I assumed that there had to have been a second floor just covered in water. I didn't realize
the ceiling's also an aquarium. You can only see it when it like pans into the restaurant.
Problem. Case closed.
But it is a shit ton of water.
It is a lot.
It also feels like a one take. Like we have to get this right because we're not setting this up again.
I did read that it was like a pretty dangerous stunt.
Really?
And I think like what we see is like legit. That Tom's like running away from like 16 million tons of water or whatever you want to call it.
Did Tom do that stunt?
That's Tom.
Wow.
That's raw Tom. Is it my turn again? It can't be, is it? I might be in my menchies here. I guess I would like had forgotten that like, the finale of, I had to have remembered at the time, but since that time I forgot that the finale of Dead Reckoning also takes place on a train with Kittredge in a very similar fashion. And in rewatching a lot of these, a lot of them have to do with Tom doing a stunt from the top of a building into a building. Like coming down lower. There's like so many times that happens in the franchise. And they kind of like probably do it on purpose. They poke fun of it in the other movies where he's like zip lining down somewhere. How about the tape that Voight watches on his plane?
What that movie? What the heck format
is that? What technology
is
that? What format is that?
I don't know.
I need to get on eBay. I need to get on eBay.
Super 8 or something. I don't know what it was.
I need to get one of those players because, I mean, movies on
can't be real.
Cassette?
No, IMF developed that themselves.
I thought there was like a fun, almost innocence with Ethan in this movie. Like he's laughing a lot. Like he makes that coffee joke. He's a little bit freewheeling, but then like once the mission starts, he's kind of like all in. And then you just see like unreal Ethan Hunt, brains in action. How about
Big
Tom
brain.
Cruise as the Southern politician?
Oh my gosh. How genius is it to just have him play the politician as well?
Yeah.
There's no other version.
I love that.
It's good.
I love Tom asking Kittredge, he's like, "You're in Prague?" And then like you just start to suspect everything.
The wheels turning.
I think I wrote that like Vanessa Kirby, who like is Max's daughter in Fallout. I mean, they're so alike in these movies. It's nuts.
I mean,
guess
Vanessa
props to Vanessa Kirby's
Redgrove
acting.
Redgrove is so good in this. I think she's hilarious. She's
great.
she's a natural. I love how easygoing she was when she first meets Ethan and he takes the hood off and he's kind of playing her back and forth. And then her in the car, her on the train. I mean, she's one of my favorite characters in this film.
She's fantastic. Legend. Vanessa Redgrave.
Yeah.
Proto, anything else on your list?
So I do kind of have a hot take.
Okay.
Hot take. I think, everybody loves Mission Impossible franchise.
Yeah,
but I
everyone.
think something that could have been better is if every movie there was a different cast.
Right.
And I know that's going to sound like
Okay.
blasphemy, all right?
I'm
No, like
listening.
no Tom. But I think it would just be so neat, just the different stories you could tell around a different team. Because I feel like as it goes on, it kind of loses this like IMF team aspect of them completing a mission. It just kind of becomes the Tom show, let's get the disavowed back together and like do a mission, and not so much about the other stuff. At least from my memory.
So you'd want a new Ethan Hunt or just a whole new team. Every movie.
A whole new cast. So like imagine like every James Bond movie, someone new was casted as James Bond.
Okay.
Not that it would be like someone casted as Ethan, but like a different character. I feel like there would be so much juice behind that of just, you get Pedro Pascal.
No.
in
See,
one of
now you've
these.
lost me.
Slim is pissed at looking
No,
at his
I-
face to even bring this up.
Well, you would have to recast it for MI2. What's Pedro Pascal doing in the year 2000? Was he even born? I don't know.
He's
Yeah.
42.
It couldn't be Keanu. I'm sure Keanu.
Keanu?
Keanu Bond.
Keanu
I mean,
IMF.
or IMF,
agent.
sorry.
Right? I'm with
Harrison
the IMF.
Why was there a second IMF squad? Oh, boy. Boy, oh, boy. Danny, your thoughts on casting everyone over again?
No, I hate that.
Okay.
But it would be interesting. I think it would make a good TV show, maybe. Like if they brought Mission Impossible back to the small screen,
Disney Plus,
and it would
IMF.
be like a serial every week of new casts and characters. I think that could work.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting where Mission Impossible goes after this. I have a feeling it might hit the small screen.
Oh, making
Get a
prediction.
little TV show action after Tom's done.
That makes a lot of sense. I can
Amazon.
see that.
They bought Bond. They're going to buy Mission Impossible too. A monopoly on the spy
It's going to be
game.
on the Paramount app. Paramount has their own app.
Oh, that's right. Paramount exists.
The amount of
America's
people
network.
that do not exist and watch the Paramount shows. I mean, the amount of stuff on Paramount that just goes unwatched. It's
Yeah.
like Skeleton Crew times 10.
It'll be Joe Keery from Stranger Things as Ethan.
I mean, I'd be into that.
Yeah, I would definitely be down for that.
Did you see the news story that Jeremy Renner was offered to come back for season 2 of Hawkeye, but they offered him
Yeah, I
half
saw
the
that video
salary?
today.
It's very
Wow.
strange.
Half the salary for another whole season again.
Yeah.
I mean, I would give him a
Jeez.
quarter of the salary to come back. That's what he's worth.
That was Danny that said that. That was Danny Haas, your favorite artist. Danny, anything else on your list?
Jack's death is visceral in 4K. On the top of the elevator. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what those spikes do in an elevator shaft, but they are not meant to be deep throated.
God, brutal.
Hasta lasagna, don't get any on ya. Just a banger line. Wake up, Claire. Jim's dead. They're dead. They're all dead. Tom going for the Oscar on that scene. You never see me upset. You want to shake hands with the devil? That's fine with me. I just want to make sure you do it in hell. What a Kittredge line. My God.
Amazing. Character.
That's kind of it. 5 stars. This is my favorite Mission Impossible movie. This is my favorite one. I love this one so much. I love De Palma in this one. I love the cinematography. I love the score. I love the entire cast in this film. I love that Ving Rhames starts in this one. I didn't remember that he was
disavowed.
Yeah, I forgot the disavowed storyline, and he brought him back, and he's still kicking. I just love this movie. It's just so much fun, and it's such a different. The franchise explodes after this, and it almost feels like the exact same trajectory as the Fast franchise, where it just keeps getting more and more ridiculous. When the first one was so kind of grounded and true to the spy story it was telling, or the racing stories. But I don't know. I'm just smitten with this movie. I really love it, and it looks great in 4K. The 4K transfer is so good, especially with the Dutch angles. You can see those pores on his faces.
See if I have anything else. Yeah, Ving, the Net Ranger, Phineas Freak. Those were his nicknames. The Net Ranger. His watch. I was wearing it today. I actually just took it off, but great watch, Casio. It's a big watch. It's like 40. I feel like it's like 44 millimeters or something big.
That's huge.
That's a big boy watch for me. I don't know. I can't normally wear a watch that big.
Yeah.
The disc drive.
The sleight of hand magic trick. So good.
So dorky.
Yes.
About Voight's like telling Ethan at like the diner that it was Kittredge. He looks like he's like barely even giving it anything.
Well, he shot himself.
He didn't though.
I don't know.
Remember, he even put fake blood on himself.
It was jelly.
He's wearing a Voight mask. Classic. Google the Bible explanation and left a note for myself. The train is going fast. Dumb line. That's all right. Like, what is that? What does that even add to my notes? The train is going fast. That was worth taking my phone out of my pocket to write. He's back in at the end. The redo of the Voight stuff on the plane. So cool. This was the first movie I think that he and his sister produced, or the first movie he produced.
Tom?
So like that Tom did.
Oh.
So he started with a good one to get cooking here. I think that's all of my notes. I had a great time rewatching this. Rewatched it a few times. And I think I'm also at 5 stars.
Hell yes.
I had a great time. A lot of fun. It's a fun time with the movies.
Yeah.
That's what this franchise is about.
Very fun.
Agree.
Okay?
Agree.
Proto?
Yeah, I just echo what Danny was saying, how this feels different than the other movies. I actually went looking to see if there's any like De Palma audio commentaries. There isn't one on that podcast that we listen to, but I'd love to hear De Palma talk about a movie. I wonder if there are commentary. Did you ever listen to like Carlito's Way? Does he have
actually, I was just about to search to see if there was one.
Yeah, I just kind of, I'd love to hear him talk about his movies as it's playing.
I think the only thing I know about De Palma is he was like, George brought him in to watch a very early cut of Star Wars, and he shit on it to George's face.
The scene where Tom is riding in the car with Max, and the way the car is bumping down the road, it's just like, there is never that many bumps in a car ride, please. When Ethan types in disavowed to like pull up the list, though, it's also just like so funny. Like, Let me take a look at all the disavowed members, like as if he's like on Craigslist or something. Let me see who's available. Disavowed. What's that even mean? Is that like you're just kind of like in the bullpen? Like you could be.
You're fired. You're fired with cause. I guess it's like a dishonorable discharge.
So funny. When Claire and Ethan almost kissing. Gosh, they just kissed. What could have been?
Yeah, I wish there was a little bit more about like their backstory, but I guess it is like kind of vague enough that like it's maybe you're just to imply on your own of them like porking in missions when Jim's not there. Because otherwise, why would it not be sus if she's like trying to kiss him and lay with him after her husband allegedly died? Right?
Mission Impossible, the pork protocol. Please clap.
Match.com.
Oh, I forgot how Voight comes back. I love that shot of him turning in the phone booth.
Yeah, that was so good. That was cool.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, Ethan.
Yeah.
That whole sequence is just absurd in the tunnel, man.
Then he shoots his wife.
Oh yeah.
So I guess there had to have been like some deep-seated things happening between the three of them.
Those 4K glasses streams.
Oh my God.
Really do a number.
Him really letting Ethan have his moment too. Like Ethan takes like
he's
15
just hanging
seconds.
back in the shadows.
What are you doing, Ethan? Putting on glasses.
I would love to see, like, the idea that he sees himself walk into the back car. It's like that's not. It's just funny.
Why does Ethan throw the glasses at Voight at the end? Did he expect them to explode? Did you notice?
No, that's in my too.
I know, but like in this one, Ethan throws the framed glasses at him, but then he's like, when nothing happens, he's like, It was just so weird.
I think it was just like throwing it in his face that he recorded him.
Yeah, this movie is special. I just like, when I saw this when I was young, it intrigued me so much. I love this. It kind of reminds me actually a little bit of Spy. It makes me want to rewatch Spy Game.
Ooh,
Speaking
Robert
of Redford.
Back on the show.
Yeah, I'm at 4 stars. Mission Impossible 1.
Okay. We're so back. Trying to see if I don't think we have any letters that I missed. Okay. Mission Impossible finally complete. Mission Impossible 1. M1 if you go by the posters on Paramount. Actually, are the posters that I use on Letterboxd too? Yeah. M1. Look at that. Who knew?
M1.
I do like the posters that they have for these movies. Like using the icon, like one of the iconic shots from the movie as the poster character, the hero image. That's a little poster artwork lingo for you.
I'm about halfway done with the art for this one. I guess I could share a teaser of it, right?
Let's go. I don't even see any teaser.
I'll put a teaser in live
something
chat.
we don't even get in our DMs.
Let's go.
I don't really share teasers much, right? Because it's going to probably change like 6 times before the time I'm done with this. But I'll put it in chat.
Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh. It looks like a 2001 Space Odyssey homage.
I thought that too. I got to change that wall.
Can you put like Hal in one of the
I'll put Hal on the wall
corners? Little Easter egg. Next week, we are doing the aforementioned Mission Impossible 2. John Woo, the master himself, gets recruited by Tom Cruise.
This isn't our first John Woo, is it?
Let's go, Mr. Woo. We did Hard Boiled.
Yeah.
And we did a commentary on Hard Target.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's see. Let's look at the filmography order here when he made the phone call for John. Mission Impossible 2 was after Blackjack with Dolph Lundgren. I have not seen this movie, but I'm adding it to my watch list. And Face Off was right before that. So I'm assuming he had seen Face Off and maybe went back to the well, seen some of his other films like Hard Boiled, Once a Thief, and we'll get into it. We don't have to get into it.
Yeah, let's. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Breaks.
Sorry for bringing it up.
What's your first notes?
Proto, any closing thoughts for Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible, it was a great time watching this movie, and it's a great time to go watch a movie at the theaters. I have to say, I mean, summer is just starting to warm up. We've got Sinners, a Minecraft movie, The Accountant 2, Star Wars Episode 3. Seems like everyone's seeing that in theaters. It's beautiful. I heard it made more money of any movie in a re-release ever until James Cameron re-releases Avatar. But it's a great time to go to the movies.
Summertime, baby.
I mean, and Thunderbolts is here. I've heard the MCU is back, better than ever.
Who said that?
So, go see a movie this week. Live a little bit.
It's time to live again.
I'll put that on a shirt. That no one will buy.
Add our logo to it, please. We'll see everybody next week for Mission Impossible 2.
$70mm is a tape deck production featuring original artwork provided by Danny Haas. Spiritual guidance and V'ger, the robot who loves movies, provided by Pertalexis. Producer at large Dale_A. And music composed by Cinematrix. Prints and other merch are available on 70mmpod.com. This episode was mixed, edited, and produced by me, Slim. Support our Patreon for access to our VHS Village Discord to talk movies with new friends, access to our exclusive episodes in the 70mm vault, discounts on merch, uncut episodes, and a physical membership card mailed to you. To check out other Tape Deck podcasts, find the link in the episode notes. And if you'd like to support our friends at Letterboxd and upgrade to Pro or Patron status, you can do so with a 20% off discount using the links on 70mmpod.com. Goodbye.
This is a Tape Deck podcast.